Welcome back to the Soap Opera today, where secrets simmer, loyalties fracture, and one emotional decision can ignite a full-blown post catastrophe. Is Lulu about to trigger a pregnancy scandal that could direct Dante into a devastating cover-up? Will Willow's hunger for power hand Drew the perfect chance of escape? Could Maxie walk in on the ultimate betrayal? And if Nina discovers the truth about Willow's running scheme, will a mother's loyalty override her conscience? The emotional stakes in Portals have never been higher. Let's begin with Lulu's Spencer, a potential bombshell that could explode across multiple families. Lulu has been wrestling with her growing feelings for Nathan West for months. During Maxie Jones' absence, Lulu and Nathan operated in emotional limbo. Without Maxie present, they allowed themselves to blur boundaries. They kissed more than once. They openly acknowledged the magnetic pull between them. They even toyed with the idea of chasing something deeper, fully aware that doing so could devastate everyone around them. Then Maxie woke up. Her return forced Lulu to hesitate. She tried to slam the brakes on whatever this is becoming. But Nathan doesn't seem ready to walk away. The chemistry hasn't faded. If anything, the sudden sense that their time might be cut short could intensify their feelings instead of extinguishing them. Rumors suggest their connection may escalate into a full affair. Nathan is conflicted, but not detached. He feels duty bound to his family and to change West. He understands the weights of responsibility. Yet, obligation doesn't erase desire. Doing the right thing won't magically extinguish how strongly he feels about Lulu. And here's where the complication multiplies. Dante Falconeri may be re entering Lulu's emotional orbit. When Nathan spoke to Dante about Lulu's perspective, about how she woke up from her coma feeling like no time had passed, something shifted. For Lulu, 4 years disappeared in a blink. She woke up still deeply in love with Dante. Meanwhile, Dante had been drowning in grief over Sam McCall. Now that grief has eased, is Dante beginning to reconsider what he and Lulu once shared? Imagine the scenario. Lulu emotionally tethered to Nathan, yet rediscovering unresolved feeling for Dante. If Dante circles back and opens the door, Lulu could find herself entangled with both men, unable and unwilling to fully disclose the truth to Maxie or Dante. And that's where the pregnancy speculation ignites. If Lulu and Dante reconnect physically while she is simultaneously crossing lines with Nathan, a pregnancy could turn into a paternity crisis. If timing overlaps, uncertainty follows. Would Lulu admit there is doubt about who the father is? Would she conceal the possibility of Nathan is the biological father to protect Dante or herself? Would Nathan stand silently if he suspected the truth? A cover up becomes plausible the moment doubt enters the picture. Now let's shift to Willow Kane, whose dangerous balancing act is tightening by the day. Willow is currently keeping Drew Kane imprisoned in his own home, maintaining his uncaptivated state with regular drug injections. She admitted to him that she orchestrated his stroke and is actively ensuring he remains immobile. But her life is accelerating in multiple directions. She has been reunited with her children. Nina Reeves has encouraged her to consider stepping into Drew's congressional seat. The idea of power clearly tempts her. A prestigious political position would elevate her status and solidify control. However, if Willow wants to avoid prison, she must keep Dew sedated and silent. That's a fragile system. If she becomes distracted, juggling motherhood, political ambition, and Caesarea, one missed injection could restore Drew's clarity. One lapse could allow him to expose her. Her options are limited and all dangerous. She could permanently eliminate Drew, but that invites criminal consequences and scrutiny. She could move him into a long term care facility, but maintaining control there becomes complicated. She could continue drugging him at home, but the margin for error shrinks as her responsibilities grow. There's also Michael Corinitos to consider. If Willow attempts to take Drew's congressional seat and relocate to Washington, D.C., would Michael agree to uproot the children? And how would she manage Drew's condition under increased public visibility? The future looks both promising and perilous for Willow. Now let's bring Nina into the equation. If Nina discovers that Willow is driving Drew, either by overhearing or confession or witnessing an injection, the emotional stakes skyrocket. Nina has fought hard to rebuild her bond with her daughter. She fears losing her again. She promised unconditional support. But does unconditional love include protecting a crime? Nina's own history, being trapped in a coma for years, could heavily influence her perspective. She may argue that regardless of Drew's fault, no one deserves to be held captive and chemically subdued. She may think of Scout Quartermine and the question whether this cruelty is justifiable. Willow, however, will defend herself fiercely. She may argue that Drew manipulated her, that she is protecting her children, that everything she's done was necessary, and she may remind Nina of her promise to stand by her, no matter what. The emotional leverage could silence Nina, but silence comes with a cost. Now return to Maxie. Maxie is already sensing something is off between Lulu and Nathan. The chemistry she once shared with Nathan feels muted. Meanwhile, the tension between him and Lulu feels undeniable. Brooklyn Quartermine already confronted Lulu and learned about their prior kiss. She urged Lulu to bury it, insisting that confessing would hurt Maxie further. For now, the secrets remain contained, but secrets will rarely stay that way. If Lulu and Nathan surrender to temptation again, Maxie could be one to catch them. Imagine her walking in on a stolen kiss. Or worse, something more intimate. The heartbreak would be immediate, the fury unavoidable, especially if Nathan is simultaneously attempting to reconcile with her. That would be a double betrayal, husband and best friend. Lulu and Max's bond would be pushed to its breaking point. Maxie is already overwhelmed after awakening from her coma, discovering the two of the people she trusts the most have been crossing lines behind her back could shatter her stability. Between Lulu's emotional engagement, a possible pregnancy scandal, Willow's power ambitions, Drew's captivity, Nina's looming moral crisis, and Max's potential discovery, Pochel's is standing on unstable ground. One misstep, one overheard conversation, one missed injection, and everything could collapse.